Time is not real. Nature has no calendar. The universe doesn't know it is 2026. January 1st is an arbitrary line drawn in the sand by a dead dictator to collect taxes. Here is the story of how Julius Caesar, a two-faced god and a pope, invented the new year to control your mind. To understand why we celebrate on January 1st, we first have to imagine a world without a fixed calendar. It is difficult for a modern brain to comprehend, but for most of human history, what day is it was a question with no clear answer. In the early Roman Republic, the calendar was a disaster. It was based on the cycles of the moon, not the sun. The lunar year is only 355 days long. The solar year, the time it takes for the Earth to orbit the sun, is 365 days. This 10-day difference seems small, but over a few decades it creates chaos. Seasons began to drift. Farmers would look at the calendar and it would say January, but outside it was harvest time. The harvest festivals would happen before the crops were even planted. But the chaos wasn't just incompetence, it was corruption. In Rome, the calendar was controlled by the high priests, known as the pontifices. These priests were also politicians, and they discovered a powerful weapon. They could edit time. If a politician they liked was in power, the priests would add an extra month to the year to keep him in office longer. If an enemy was in power, they would shorten the year to kick him out faster. They literally stole time from the people to rig elections. By the time Julius Caesar came to power in 46 BC, the Roman calendar was 3 months out of sync with the sun. Rome was the most powerful empire on earth, but it didn't know what time it was. Enter Julius Caesar. Caesar was a dictator, but he was also a man of order. He hated the mess the priests had made, but he needed a scientist. During his time in Egypt, while he was having his famous affair with Queen Cleopatra, he met a man named Sosigenes of Alexandria. Sosigenes was an astronomer. He told Caesar something revolutionary. Forget the moon, follow the sun. He explained that the year was exactly 365.25 days long. Caesar took this knowledge back to Rome and decided to perform the greatest hard reset in human history. He created the Julian Calendar, but to fix the damage caused by the corrupt priests, he had to realign the months with the seasons. So, in the year 46 BC, Caesar added extra days, a lot of them. He added 2 extra months between November and December. He added another month after February. The result was a nightmare. The year 46 BC is known by historians as the Year of Confusion. It lasted for 445 days. Imagine living through that. It was the longest year in human history. People were confused about when to pay rent. Contracts were broken. No one knew when to celebrate holidays. But when the sun finally set on the 445th day, the clock was reset. And Caesar made a decision that dictates your life today. Before this, the Roman year started in March, the time of war and spring. Caesar moved the start of the year to January 1st. Why? Because of a god. The name January comes from the Roman god Janus. In Roman mythology, Janus is a very specific and strange deity. He is the god of doors, gates, beginnings, and endings. But his most defining feature is his face. He has 2 of them. One face looks backward, into the past. The other face looks forward, into the future. Caesar realized that this was the perfect metaphor for the new year. January 1st is the doorway. It is the moment we stand on the threshold, looking back at what we did last year and looking forward to what we will do next. It was a poetic choice, but it was also political. In Rome, the consuls, the highest elected officials, began their term on January 1st. By aligning the calendar with the political term, Caesar ensured that the administrative machine of the empire was synchronized. But old habits die hard. After Rome fell, Europe fell into chaos again. During the Middle Ages, the Church hated the idea of celebrating a pagan god like Janus. So for almost 1,000 years, Europe couldn't agree on when the year started. If you were in England, the New Year started on March 25th, Lady Day. If you were in Italy, it might be December 25th, Christmas. If you were in France, it might be Easter Sunday. It was a logistical nightmare. You could travel from London to Paris and literally travel back in time to a different year. By the 16th century, another problem appeared. Caesar's math was good, but it wasn't perfect. He calculated the year as 365.25 days. The actual solar year is 365.24219 days. That tiny difference, 11 minutes a year, doesn't seem like much, but over 1,600 years, those 11 minutes added up to 10 full days. The calendar was drifting again. Easter, which is supposed to be in the spring, was drifting toward the summer. Enter Pope Gregory XIII. In 1582, he unveiled the Gregorian Calendar, the one we use today. He decided to cut the 10 extra days to realign the world. He issued a papal bull. Thursday, October 4th, 1582, was followed immediately by Friday, October 15th, 1582. 10 days were simply deleted from history. They never happened. This caused panic. In Protestant countries, people thought this was a Catholic plot. There were riots in the streets of England and Germany. Peasants believed that by cutting 10 days off the calendar, the Pope was actually shortening their lives by 10 days. They thought they would die sooner. Landlords demanded a full month's rent for a short month, causing economic fury. It took nearly 300 years for the whole world to agree to use this calendar. Russia didn't switch until 1918. Turkey switched in 1926. So the date January 1st is not a natural fact. It is a hard-won diplomatic agreement that took centuries of blood and riots to establish. So why do we care? Why do we still attach so much meaning to this arbitrary date? Psychologists at the Wharton School call this the fresh start effect. Human beings struggle with the continuity of time. If you see your life as one long, unbroken stream from birth to death, it becomes overwhelming. Mistakes you made 10 years ago feel like they are still weighing you down today. We need temporal landmarks. We need mental borders to separate our current self from our past self. January 1st allows you to dissociate. You can look at the lazy, unhealthy person you were in December and say, "That wasn't me. That was old me. The new me starts tomorrow." It is a cognitive trick, a collective hallucination. We agree to pretend that the slate is wiped clean. Dopamine levels spike on New Year's Eve because of the anticipation of this rebirth. It is the only holiday that celebrates something that hasn't happened yet. It is a celebration of potential. As you watch the fireworks this year, and as you watch the clock tick from 23:59 to 0000, remember this: nothing in the universe has changed. The Earth is in the same spot in its orbit. The stars haven't moved. The only thing that has changed is a number in our collective imagination. But that doesn't make it fake. It makes it human. We invented January 1st because we needed it. We needed a Janus-faced God to let us forgive our past and fearlessly look into our future. We needed a finish line so we could convince ourselves to start running again. So, Happy New Year. It's an illusion, but it's the most important illusion we have.